extra, extra, read all about it.
Hot off the press, press.
Yes.
You gotta understand, dude. Come on, man. Your place don't come back to this thing.
As the world turns with the drama that's going on with number 45, we're going to turn our world over here at Urban Voice Media to Herb Robinson. Story out in Kansas City, Missouri. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a good one. Welcome back to Hot Topics. I'm yours truly, LB, with Urban Voice Media. This story right here, it goes out to Kansas City Police Department. It goes way out there in the Midwest to Kansas City Police Department, where a gentleman by the name of Herb Robertson, he served on the police force for 30 years. He's had a 30 plus year police career there out in Kansas City. At the time, he was pulled over by KCPD. He was at the time, he was a detective at the time. Now he's a sergeant, but at the time he was a detective. And he was pulled over, and he feels that he was pulled over while driving black. I know a lot of people, when you hear that term, pulled over by driving black, you want to quickly say, here you go, you're pulling the race card. Well, let's dissect this and look at the information to see whether or not he actually was pulled over while driving black. And I'm here to tell you, most instances when someone say they feel they've been racially discriminated against, they have. I mean, they have. And this shows to be, it happens over and over and over. Well, I have several clips I'm going to show you guys. We're going to sit down. We're going to dissect these. And after that, we also going to talk just a little bit about the Kansas City Police Department and what some of those officers have been told to do throughout time. Here's the first clip right here with the actual officers pulling over Mr. Robinson. And right here, you can see they're at a stoplight. You're going to hear some audio in a few moments. You see it at the stoplight. Now, they're in a right turning lane. Look what the police officers do. That's an illegal move. Who should have got a citation there? Exactly. That right there was an illegal move. And notice how many lights they actually go through. You see how far he's following them. Notice all the lights they're going through. So far, no illegal motion. And once again, Detective Robinson, Sergeant Robinson, he's in the vehicle they're following there. And you see the construction signs telling people to merge over. And you see the van in front of him, the SUV in front of him. Now, he gets out. He does not have his information, his wallet to show his ID and everything, but he still gets out like, what's going on?
Well, first of all, I don't know why you're dumping out like that on us. You can wait for us to get here. Damn, dude. What's up, man? What's that?
chances are these officers right here already see that he's in a uniform. That's why he's saying, damn dude. But listen to the tone, the verbiage these young men use as they approach and handle Mr. Robinson. Just listen to the verbiage.
Your plates don't come back to the thing, so you're still doing traffic stop on you. Where you at, bro?
Now, he said your plates don't come back to anything. Those are Missouri tags. What do you mean they don't come back to anything? They either come back to valid or invalid or to another car. He said they don't come back to anything. Make sense out of this. We're gonna roll it back just a little piece.
Where you at, bro? I'll take the Robinson.
And you heard what Mr. Robinson said. Bro, you don't address me as bro. You see what I look like. You see what I have on. We go on.
Don't do that to us. Get the fuck out. Why? I'm in a police uniform.
He told him to chill the fuck out, but the police officer jumped out the vehicle, cutting the monkey. The police officer is the only one who used profane language. But he tells Mr. Robinson to chill out.
I don't know who you are. You said Detective Robinson? Yeah. Cool, man. All right, have a night. Holy shit, man. Remember what it's like being in patrol, dude? Fuck you, dumbass. You fucking retard. Oh, no.
Now, one officer called Sergeant Robinson a dumbass. The other police officer called him a retard. But whoever was driving that vehicle proceeded to go straight forward through the light versus making a right turn. Didn't turn on no lights. Now, we're going to go back to the beginning. When you say dumbass and retard, as you see right here, they at the stoplight. No lights or siren so far. None. Going through more lights. Going through more lights. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Now right here is where the siren and emergency lights notify Robinson to pull over. So who is the dumbass and the retard? See what I'm saying? And why did you feel you're in the left? Robinson is in the left lane. You're in the right turning lane. You decide to move over behind him. Well, you decide to follow him from the turning lane. Dumbass and retard. Then you're going to use profane language against this young man. Well, excuse me, against the detective at the time, now sergeant. These are the type of officers, ladies and gentlemen, that are on the streets across America, nationwide. These guys. And when you say, why LB, you guys, why so many blacks want to pull the race card and talk about it? Look at this right here. Prime example. Had no reason. Now, how can he even see his tags? And he's to the right of him on the side. He wasn't behind him in the beginning. He just decided, you seeing tinted windows, let me follow and see what this Malibu is all about. But then come up and say, your tags come back to nothing. What you mean? It comes back to something. It comes back to invalid. It comes back to stolen. It comes back to incorrect vehicle. Incorrect placement. It comes back to something. Officer said nothing. Then when he found out that this was a detective, he says, okay, have a good day, and leave. No. Let's stick on this, go back to nothing. Forget if the officer is in the wrong, he's in the wrong. Excuse me, the detective, officer, chief, whoever, sergeant is in the wrong. They're in the wrong. Let's go ahead and address that. Let's go ahead and fix that so that officer, chief, detective will not be in the wrong anymore. Maybe the tag was outdated, placed on the incorrect car. Maybe the car got smashed up, they put it on the wrong car. The new tag or the old tag on the wrong vehicle. Who knows? But let's address this. The tag don't come back to nothing. You walk away. See, when y'all say, When I say y'all, no matter who you are and what you look like, when y'all say, well, why you want to pull the race card? That right there. How much more information do you need? We're going to go in just a little bit further. Well, actually, before I go there, the Kansas City Star, this is what they had wrote in reference to this situation. And they say this actually happened March 21st. Herb Robinson, now a sergeant with the Kansas City Police Department, was pulled over by two Kansas City police officers. He believes he was stopped. Well, he believed the stop was a case of racial profiling. And let's see. And that video right there actually came from the Kansas City Star, breaking down, actually what happened from the beginning all the way to the end in reference to the following, the stoppage, and then, actually leaving. And this is what the Kansas City Star said. They shared a video of Mr. Robinson stopped with the police and experts and community activists who said they were concerned by the way the officers treated one of their own. Brandon Davis, an assistant professor at the University of Kansas, whose research focuses on race, said the stop appeared to totally be unnecessary and motivated simply by who was driving the car. The officers, he said, then blamed Robinson for their violation of his constitutional rights. Check that out. The officers are the only ones in the video, as I said as well, who violated any traffic laws by going straight out of a turning lane to follow the car Davis was driving. Exactly what I said. Exactly. And I'm sure you guys, you just think about it. They threw the lights and put the siren on him when he had to merge to the left because there was a construction sign saying, hey, merge left, because we're doing construction up ahead. And he merged back over once he saw the sirens and light, right before you had to merge left anyway. Now, check this out right here. In Kansas City, black drivers in 2020 were 23% more likely to be stopped than white drivers, according to data collected by the Missouri Attorney General's office. The city's population, meanwhile, is 60% white and 28% black. People ask, why do you pull the black car? Why is black drivers 23% more likely? 23% more likely, again, 23% more likely to be stopped than white drivers. More likely to be stopped. But they're only 28% black. The numbers don't add up. I was a great mathematician. Great from kindergarten all the way through college. I was great with math, with numbers. Those numbers don't add up. 60% white, 28% black, but 23% more blacks are likely to get stopped than white drivers. You can see it for yourself. I'll leave it. We'll leave that on the screen right there. Then it also states that black drivers are also more likely to be taken into custody than white ones. Of the 1,521 traffic stops conducted by Kansas City Police Department in 2020 that led to arrests, 52%, here we go with the messed up mathematic numbers, 52% of the drivers were black, while nearly 40% were white. 60% white, 28% black, 52% black drivers go to jail, 40% white goes to jail. My number, I can't add that up right on my fingers. Maybe you guys can. Y'all can tell me about it if you will. Please leave it in the comments. Now, the next video I'm going to show you guys is the video that Sergeant Herb Robinson placed. This was, I'm not for sure the time period this was placed, but this was in reference to him getting pulled over by the two police officers. You guys check it out right here.
I get into my department assigned vehicle. It was not a marked vehicle. It's a vehicle like any other citizen would drive. And you would not know it's a police car. I'm driving to my off-duty job. While driving, I stop at a red light and I notice a police SUV pull up on the right side of me, the curb lane. And that curb lane at the intersection is a lane you would make a right turn to go right. I guess that would be due west. And I'm the first car at the intersection. The light turns green, I proceed, and I'm driving, minding my own business, toppling along, going off duty. And I look in the rear view and I see the police SUV behind me. So I continue driving, and a few blocks, I'm stopped. Why are these guys stopping me? So I stop and I remain in my car for a few minutes. I'm like, this is Raytown. What? So I open, after a few minutes, I open the driver's door and I take one foot. I step out and I just step out and I just turn. I don't move, I don't take another step. I just stand up, turn around and face the front of their car. And when I face the front of the car, I go, oh, that's us. That's KCPD. So at the same time, the two officers get out of the car and immediately they begin speaking to me. Dude, what the fuck? You just gonna jump out on us like that? And I'm like a deer in the headlights now. So I said something to the effect, I'm an officer. You just gonna jump out like that? Dude, who are you? You know, I'm Detective Robinson. And when, well, where the fuck are you going? I'm going off duty. And the question was asked, I asked, why did you stop me? Well, first of all, your plates don't come back to this vehicle. I go, oh. I go, are we done? And I get back in the car and I drive away. As they're walking back to theirs, I'm called, they say, before walking back, they say, obviously you forgot what it's like to be out here. And they're walking back to their car and you go, fucking dumbass, fucking retard.
Did you ever feel your life was in danger?
I felt, honestly, had I not, well, number one, I would never stepped out of the car had I not been in uniform in the time we're in now. Never. But I felt it was appropriate. It was nothing inappropriate or against policy for me to step out and turn around and face police in full police uniform.
Right.
I thought at one point, I'm like, are you fixing to shoot me? Are you about to jump on me? Or what are you about to do? Because of the tone and the mannerisms and the egregious manner that was being, the conversation was with me. Yes, I felt, honestly, I know why people are protesting. I felt that level of fear, even though I'm in police uniform, I'm armed, I'm trained, I have all these, whatever. I'm like this. I'm that deer in headlights. I'm that my heart's racing and pounding. I'm like, what are you gonna do next? And all I could say is, why did you stop me? All I could say was, I'm Detective Robinson. All I said was, are we done? And I'm like this. And I get in my car and drive away. Because they're up here.
You're right.
So I don't know what's about to happen next. But I felt, yes, I felt, I'm not ashamed of it, a level of fear. A level of fear, what are you about to do next? Because I'm thinking a reasonable person, it's not how a reasonable person conducts themselves in law enforcement capacity. This is concerning. And how are you treating other citizens? How did you think it was okay? How do you think that's okay to do? To me, you're dangerous. To me, you're a liability. And I could have been that victim. What if I'd have been in plain clothes?
Yeah.
With badge and other identifiers that identify me as an officer, but just not in uniform. And I tried to tell them I'm a police officer. Well, I might have been taken down to the ground.
Right.
I might have been shot. I might have reached in my car to get my ID to prove and been shot. I mean, things happen. So I'm that person now. I understand the protests. I understand what people are saying. I never imagined on this department I would experience that from my own.
How do you think race played a factor into that?
What else could have played a factor? I'm not asking questions the way I'm just speaking how I feel when I look just like an officer. And I had committed no violation at all and was lied to about the reason I was stopped.
Now, my thing on that one, guys, is the moment he said he now knows how the protesters feel. You shouldn't have to go through that being on the law, being in law enforcement to now understand how an average citizen feels. You should have compassion already to know how a citizen feels. So that I find is part of the problem that we're having with the police departments. Their compassion for citizens isn't there until they go through it. You heard what he said. Now, I'm not being hard on Mr. Robinson, but I'm stating there's a lot of Mr. Robinsons on the force. They don't understand how we feel, what we're going through when we are faced against two officers just like that, who give us that heat. And then when the OK Corral comes, I'm the boogeyman. I'm the one who escalated it. I'm the one who turned nothing into something, not those two police officers. But as you seen, and as he stated, as he felt, those two police officers was already up there for what? Over a tag issue that you don't know what's going on? When he got out that car, the police officer still could have de-escalated it, but chose not to and chose to use profanity. Like he stated, imagine if he wasn't in police clothes. Imagine if he just had game changers on with all these wonderful gentlemen of my complexion on my shirt with this hat on. I'm back in black. Imagine if I would have jumped out, even though I'm a detective, if I am, and not in uniform. We can't wonder how. We've seen too many times how that's played out. We've seen it. And if you notice, when he got out the vehicle, his right hand was still behind him. So you don't know if he had a gun, reaching for a gun, or what. To me, that was a mistake on the sergeant's behalf. Well, both of his hands should have maybe been on the door versus one on the back. And if he did feel like he didn't know what was going on, maybe he should have just sat there and just chilled with his hands on as they want us to do, hands on the steering wheel. This right here goes back to what I'm getting ready to talk about next, and that's Rick Smith. He's the police chief of Kansas City, Missouri. Been the police chief since 2017, and activists have long called for his removal and response to the Black Lives Matter protests. They've been asking for him to get gone. And no, it won't happen. He can't be removed. They've been asking for him to get gone. Now, Kerr 89.3 News, they reported on March the 23rd of this year. It says Kansas City police target minority neighborhoods to meet illegal ticket quotas. Now remember the numbers I was spitting out earlier, ladies and gentlemen. Now there's a lawsuit. As we go further into it, wait a minute, guys. We can't talk about that without doing this right here. This right here is the police chief, Rick Smith. Been there since 2017. What a horrible individual. Why I say that? Just listen, you guys. Like I said, per KCUR 89.3 News on March the 23rd of this year. The lawsuit filed by check this out, Kansas City Police Department officer places blame for quotas and racist patrol tactics on former chief. So maybe he's not the chief no more now. I'm not sure when he got removed. It says former chief Rick Smith. So, hey, they got him out of there. Current chief Stacey Gray says he will remind traffic divisions to operate and enforce laws appropriately. Remind, instruct, guide, or educate. Two of them I'm with. Remind, no. Instruct and educate, yes. I'm with that. Remind, no. Remind so, hey guys, I don't get fired too. That's what you remind. Come on now. Graves, come on. Come on. We can't do this. Woo. All right. Edward Williams, 44, a 44-year-old, check this one out, white Kansas City Police Department officer and 21-year veteran of the force, filed a discrimination lawsuit in Jackson County Court this week, which, like I said, which was March 23rd of this year, including those and other allegations. Williams said he's faced retaliation quite naturally because he's been a whistleblower and is disabled and is over 40 years old. He's disabled now, he's whistleblowing, and he's over 40 years old. Williams' suit said that contrary to Missouri law, Kansas City Police Department continuously and repeatedly told officers that if they didn't meet their ticket quotas, they would be kicked out of the ticket unit and sent to dog watch, an unpopular overnight shift typically worked by those with low seniority. You think that this only happens in Kansas City, Missouri, people? Do you? I don't think so. You think maybe that's a ritual that happens nationwide? Yeah, I do too. I do too. You think that's something that's always on the hush hush? I mean, who wants to work third shift when they can work first shift and then be home the rest of the evening with their loved ones? They can go to baseball games and softball games, basketball games, or whatever, football games. They can do interactions with family members and friends. But when you work at night, chances are you're going to miss a good bit of that. Yeah. Now, as it goes on, it says this directive came straight from the then chief of police, Richard Smith. He alleged in the suit, Smith's rocky term as chief lasted from 2017 through 2022, when he was forced into retirement. Thank you so much. Forced into retirement. Smith was criticized for stonewalling cases of excessive force against people of color and his militarization reaction to the hashtag Black Lives Matter protests. The U.S. Department of Justice announced an investigation. Thank you. And I hope, even though he's not the police chief no more, he's still liable. He still should have to pay some type of recourse into what he did and what he instructed and what he let go into allegations, racist things, hiring practices in Kansas City Police Department into December 20. So actually December 22, they did their investigation. They got him out of there then. In a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, that corrupt cop on the screen right there is no longer there. Now, forced in retirement, hey, he done did his due diligence. He done did all the dirty work he needed to do for, I don't know how long of a lengthy time. Let's see if the report says how long he was on the force. Let's go down and not on the force with Kansas City. He went there in 2017, but maybe just in the force in general. And all the other bad deeds, they can go back and go back. And that's one thing I hope they actually do. Dig deep into the history of these guys and find out all the rest they done, all the tactics they used, and investigate to see whether or not these things were legitimately done or not. Chances are, well, let's go to the percentages. It's on the screen. Chances are 60%. Nah, we bumped that up. Chances are 83% he did not enforce correct rules and regulations for officers, and him himself, when he was once an officer, didn't do correct. I'm gonna give him 83%. He gets a good grade. It was 83 a C. Yeah, that's a low C. We give you a low C. That's what you get. You get a low C for being correct. A very, very big low C on top of that. Really should give you an E. But I'm trying to be nice here to this evening, ladies and gentlemen. But guys, you guys let me know what you think about this. Do you feel across the nation that the majority of the police departments do that? They target the minority neighborhoods and ticket them to cost them more money, to keep them improv as much as they possibly can. You think about back in the days, there was a saying said, even though slavery is removed, we can't get you this way, we'll get you another. And history has shown that through the police department, they've done that. They can no longer hang us. They can no longer beat us. They can no longer kidnap us. They can no longer starve us and rape us. But they can, and time after time, you've seen it in the police department. That's the way they're doing it now. I'm not saying all the police departments do it, because I know some that don't, especially in the hometown where I was born, up in the DMV area. I know a couple of police departments up that way. They're not doing that. They're really there for the community. And they have to use strength when they have to use strength. But for the long haul, they're there for the community, doing things for the community. That's why I say there are some good cops. There are some good police stations. There are some good police departments. But overall, as we look at those percentages going across the screen, there's one too many that aren't good. There's one too many that we need to fish out and continue to keep putting the foot down on people like that man on the screen. And I don't really like the fact that he's beside me. I mean, he just looked like a criminal to me. And those two gentlemen in the background back there, as you see, those two knuckle nuts, they most definitely, and they're still on the force. Forgot to state that they're still on the force, those two knuckle nuts. And just so, because I didn't tell you guys earlier, Cole Modeer, or Moder, I'm gonna call him Modeer because it's Modeer. Modeer, he's the white gentleman. The Hispanic gentleman is Marco Olivas. Cole and Marco. Those are the two knuckle nuts there. As they said, dumbass and retard. They were really talking about themselves. It's going to come on the screen right now. 1, 2, 3. There it is. Dumbass. That's what one called himself. Then the other one, he's about to call himself his correct name as well. The retard. It makes no sense, ladies and gentlemen. It makes no sense. Like I said, if you will, leave your comment below into the comment section. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. Try to keep it safe over here in Hot Topics.